Ready to get tonight going? You ready to get tonight going? Let's get this music turned down so I don't get a copyright strike from YouTube. Let's get tonight going, man. Just redid a video, speaking of YouTube, speaking of copyright strike. If you see a video of me in this truck dressed up like a pharmacist talking about drugs, it means that I got one through on YouTube. They sent me a thing saying I had done one about a trucker drug tests, and I violated their wasn't even trying to violate it. I was kind of shocked. I violated their recreational drugs and drug related content. And at first I was like, forget it, I'll just delete it. And then it's like, the more I started reading over the details of it, it's like, I think if I pick different words, I think I can nail this, get the same information out, and have them green light it. So I gotta edit it, throw it up on YouTube, put it for private for a couple days, and see what happens with it. If you never see a video like that, that means I got strike number 2, and I'm not going for strike number 3. I'm just gonna give up. But what do we got right now? We are at 11:42. Let's get this phone. Lou and I are heading down to Otay. Let's turn on screen record here. And we just pre-tripped the truck. Mode of driver. Update status. Let's update to, I drove to get coffee. I was on personal conveyance. So we're done getting coffee. Let's say logs. Let's go on duty. And let's come over here and pre-trip the truck. Pre-trip is all good. I did notice one thing on the truck. I didn't know what this was called until I had to look up a Freightliner door diagram. Let's see if I can turn this camera around and show you exactly what I'm talking about. I noticed that the metal is getting thin on this piece right here. Like right back in the back there. And according to what I found online, that is something called a door check. I had no idea about that. I had to look up Freightliner door diagram to find out that was a door check. And so I'm gonna have to replace it. Found a YouTube video of some guy replacing his. Looks like I gotta take the panel off. Looks totally doable. I've done that before. And replace that door check. But anyway, just heading down to Otay right now. 2 Amazon loads booked, super local. First one is, I'm basically just staying between Otay and Chula Vista, doing the little run up and down the 125. And I'm not due down there till 1:15. It's 11:45 right now, so we're gonna get there a little bit early, but not too early that if they cancel it, they don't pay me for it. So next stop down in Otay. Getting into SCA 7 here an hour and 10 minutes before I'm due here, which I like. I'll tell you one thing I don't like about this site, and we've got 2 here in town that do this. There's SCA 7 and SCA 4. This site is where flex drivers come in. And you can see that like this lane to the right is the lane for trucks. And over here is where the flex drivers are. If you're not familiar with Amazon Flex, it's like the delivery service that they just kind of hire you on like an as-needed basis. You kind of work like an independent contractor. The problem is when this place, I'm here at a good time now, not a single flex driver, but when this place fills up, when they have, and I understand these guys are under the gun, and I'm not saying every flex driver is bad, but there are some of them that, they're under the gun too, and they just use the truck lane to fill up their car, and it really makes for a mess. The other side in town, SCA 4 off of Camino del Norte, that one's really bad. I've actually had to send Amazon a performance dispute because I was delayed getting out of there because the setup is it's so terrible. The flex drivers are literally sharing the same driveway as the truck. So that's something to be aware of. Some of these flex drivers locations, again, not saying all of them, but some of them, they kind of act like they own the whole place, and if there's 30 of them and one of you, it's gonna take a while. All right, they assigned me lucky number 148 right here. I'm just waiting for this red light to turn green, and the yard marshal tells me that should be happening in the next 10 to 15 minutes, and then we're heading over to San 3. So I'll give you my little rundown on kind of the good and bad parts of the load board and why I start these loads when I do. I find myself right now sitting in a yard 2 hours before my departure time. And I could see where somebody would argue and saying like, hey, you know, you shouldn't have started that load so early. You're wasting 2 hours of valuable on duty time just sitting there waiting for Amazon to load the trailer. Why did you start it that early? I'll kind of give you my rationale. And this is kind of, like I said, this is both the good and the bad of the load board. So this first load started at 1:17. Now I was at home watching the load board this evening, trying to find like a load that I could put that would precede this load that had to get me done, and I had to be down in Otay basically at 1:17. Well, you figure about the time that like 2 hours, so let's say like 11:17, 2 hours before that start time, you might as well, this might be controversial, but you might as well just go ahead and start the load at that point, because let's say within 2 hours, it's not like they're listing loads that start right then and there. They're listing loads at around 11:17 that are going to be starting at midnight, 12:15, 12:30. And even if I got the shortest load possible, the little, you know, SAN 5 to SAN 3, a little HSD2, even though you can physically get those done in like 15 minutes, they're going to be chalked out for an hour's worth of time. And so it just, once 2 hours hits, it's kind of like, you know what, I might as well stop this load. Now here's where I'm hopeful, and this is kind of like my justification for it. Yes, it does have me waiting in this yard for the next 2 hours. They could take that long, they absolutely could. But if they get the trailer done early, I can head over to DIB 7, clear out this load, and now suddenly I'm an eligible driver between whatever time I get to DIB 7 and drop the trailer off until 5:26, which is when my next load starts. So that's where I'll start doing the same kind of tactics as before, looking at the load board, trying to find a short little hop that gets me done and allows me to get back over to SCA 7 by 5:26. So you kind of got to weigh both. I mean, you can hold out looking for that load, but you got to keep in mind that like even if they list it, you'll probably be an ineligible driver for it, and that's the last thing I want to do. And just like that, I'll screenshot this for you. At 1:24, an hour and a half before my departure time, they're telling me the trailer's ready at dock door, ready at dock door 124 at 1:24 in the morning. That's pretty good. Gonna go pick it up. Should be leaving DIB 7 around 2 o'clock, and I'm gonna finish out this load about an hour and 15 minutes before I'm supposed to. So excited about that. Getting into DIB 7 at 1:49. I'm gonna get this thing dropped off and have about 3 hours to go on the hunt for that next load. I'm excited that 101 is taken. I hate messing with this wall, so I'm probably gonna be putting this in either 102, 103, or 104. Got the trailer right there, kind of parked in a way where nobody can come around. I always have people pull up here and they park where I am, even though I'm down there waiting to go next, and then I don't have enough room to back. So I kind of intentionally park like that to, I guess, force the next guy to stay out of the yard so I have enough room to do my back. But ringing the doorbell now, seeing what these people have in store for me. You know, and just like that, I was getting ready to say, we'd been sitting there for about 40 minutes after dropping that load off at DIB 7. We were nearing the 2 hour point on this next load. I was kind of getting ready to give up, sitting in the back with Lou, just laying there watching TV. They dropped this little, I think, SAN 5 going up to DSD 4. This is what I spend my nights doing. You know, trying to hustle down to, I believe, SAN 5, and I believe this one gets done at 4:42. And as long as I can be out of there by 4:42, I can for sure make it from DSD 4 back to Otay for that next one that starts at, I forget if it's 5:16 or 5:26, but I'll be there for it. All right, dropping off the trailer at dock door 104, just after, what time is it? My watch died, 3:50. 3:50, I gotta be down in Otay by 5:26. Now at 3:26, I did the swipe down, the active refresh, proving that the load was still in my upcoming trips 2 hours before, so guaranteed the Tonu. If it goes through, great. If it's a Tonu, that works too. I'm actually a little bit of strategy here. I'm actually not gonna start that load yet on the off chance that on the way down there, they say, hey, we need a SAN 3 to SAN 5, or we need a SAN 5 to SAN 3, or an HSD2 back to SAN 5. I'm not gonna start it on the off chance that they drop one of those, but if I get down to Otay and there's nothing dropped, I'm gonna go ahead and start that next load. So I can tell by the amount of cars turning in and out of here that this is now, we're back at SCA 7. I was saying earlier how I don't like coming to these spots where there's flex drivers. This is what it looks like when it's just going off here. Let's just see. What's happening? All right, I don't see anybody in the truck lane. That's a good thing. Oh no, here we go. Here's our first guy. He's pulling up. He's out of the way, but I don't think he's supposed to be over here. They have added this orange gate that kind of prevents the cars. Before, they just had the cones and people would just shoot out in front of you. They'd run over the cones. But when we were here earlier, none of this was here, and you can kind of see where this just turns into an absolute cluster. All right. Parking slip 531. I gotta remember that. Let's turn on screen record here and pull over to the side. All right. Here's some of those shenanigans I like to pull. Coming in the gate just now, they dropped a little Sand 3 to Sand 3 short distance. Started at 5:45, but I'm an ineligible driver. But because we just made it through the gate, we're gonna say we're dropping this off at spot 531. Clearing this out of the queue. No future loads assigned. I'm now an eligible driver. Come back over here to the web, go to trips. And this one I just booked when I was in the line out there. Let's see here, trips, load for me. Upcoming trip, Sand 3 to Sand 3, we're gonna assign driver. We're doing that within the prescribed amount of time. We're gonna add my tractor. And this starts at 5:45. I've got 50 minutes to drop off this trailer at 5:31, exit the gate, only to come back in the same gate and start load number 4. Here's where we're hanging this one up. 6:29, just dropped off the trailer here at Sand 3. 4 loads completed. I probably have a little bit more in me, but fact of the matter is I just kind of feel like going home. The relay bot was messing with me on 1 to Poway. They were trying to send it for 220. I asked for 320. My absolute minimum today would have been like 275, and it came up to 260. I wish I had a screenshot of it, but I just told it no. I ended the chat and just got out of there. But Lou's a tired boy. Lou and I are heading out of Sand 3 now, heading back to the yard. I'm gonna go to sleep. Not a bad little 4-load night. My service area last night stayed south of the 52, so feel good about that. But as always, appreciate you taking the trip with me. Hope this video serves you well. Take care.